lost control of myself, and this shattered piece of self-control. More I tried it, more I seem to let it go. Breathe in and breathe out. I finally lost control of my life. Did I get?
I am Iron Body.
I am Iron Body.
I am Iron Body.
Jaime Martinez, and you're watching Let the Mic Drop, Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us right here on Let the Mic Drop. I've got a very special guest in the house for this week, and it's Jaime from Loko Wrestling. We're about to go live with Jaime. Jaime, what's going on, buddy?
No, nothing, man. Just chilling. Just got off of work. Now I'm just here, just chilling. You hit me up. You say you want to do an interview. Now I'm here, man.
Yeah, Jaime. Oh, hey, Jaime, real quick. Now that I finally have you one-on-one, buddy, how does it feel to be one of the number one promoters in Texas running shows monthly?
um, it feels. I don't know, man. It feels good.
It feels good. Where did the idea of local wrestling begin, brother? Where did you come up with the concept? Hey, I want to create local wrestling. I mean, it's been a couple years already, but I've never asked you, and I've talked to you several times. Where did it come up? Hey, I want to create something crazy, something wild, something local.
As far as like how Loco came about was honestly, this is 100% the truth. I wasn't even part of it at the beginning. Like the first event, I was just a fan. And then on the second time, I think on the second event, that's when I became, a part of it. And it was like when Loco first started, it was Pedro and some other guy. And and yeah, they pretty much did their thing. They created it, and pretty much the logo was a Pedro like concept. The only thing that they asked me was, "You think we should do Loco with a C or a K?" And I was like, "Bro, do it with a K." And that was my contribution to the beginning of it. And then the second event, I was a part of it. And then the third event, that's when I like took over like creative and how the look and everything like that, and pretty much became, I guess, the hype. I guess I bought my way into the company because I was doing the hottest merch table in the game. So, I became a part owner of it on the third event.
you were one of the hottest merch tables all over. I trust me, brother. You inspired me to create Aces merchandise because without you, without seeing how much fire you were bringing onto the scene, I wouldn't know what to do. But I remember the first time I met you, it was at the first Wrestle Swap down there at the Houston Premier Arena. And like I said, because of you, man, you inspired me to become like Aces merchandise. I mean, you had the fire, Daddy, and I still can't keep up with the fire that you bring.
Yeah, man. The thing is with the vintage and the t-shirts, it's just because I've always been a collector of that stuff since the time I was a young kid, and being in my 40s now, I've always collected wrestling t-shirts from the 80s, the 90s, and I've always asked my mom to buy them for me, and some of them I kept, some of them I didn't, so. I just wanted to bring a different flavor to like when I created Hottest Merch Table. I wanted to give people a different selection, whether it be a vintage stuff from when they saw when they were a kid, or something new from Mexico, or something from Japan, or stuff like that. That's pretty much a one-stop shop for like wrestling. That's what I came up with. So
And it still is, Jaime. It still is. I mean, I'm telling you, man, without you, I wouldn't have been nowhere near the game that I'm trying to drop compared to you, brother. You've done a whole hell of a lot for the wrestling community, not only in Houston, but the Texas scene. I've heard local wrestling all over the United States and in Mexico, and I'm starting to hear a bunch of it out from no because of the guys that you helped build, that you helped promote. Mac and all these other guys coming in and out, going through Japan, and I mean, all this is because of you. How does that feel, knowing that you've got guys putting your brand over, your name out there? I mean, you're the one that brought Game Changer Wrestling to Texas, brother.
yeah, that felt great because at the beginning we were just doing this for fun, and we didn't think it was gonna last past 1 year, bro. Like we were just bored, and we were bored, and we had money, and it was just one of those things where we made max bets on like Ninja Mac, Dante, Lowrider, Sadika, um, Chris Carter, just a whole bunch of the young guys at the beginning, and it felt great to see them grow and then get past the independence, and they do something else, and it's really really cool. And then to have Game Changer do a collab with us on year one, bro, our first year anniversary show, that was fucking beautiful. Like that shit all wrote itself, you know what I mean? Like we didn't think nothing of it. We were sitting at that premier arena, and it was empty. It was just a ring and maybe like 50 chairs, and we were like, man, dude, like, what's gonna happen if we get so big? It was like the only time that we're gonna get scared is when Game Changer like hits us up, because we thought at that time nobody was really competing with us. And then once they came, and then we're like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like we were really happy about that, man. We made a lot of waves. We inspired a couple. I feel like we inspired a couple people. I'm inspired. I'm inspired by the whole scene because I went to shows to see what fans reacted and what they liked, what wasn't their dislikes. That's why I did the hottest merch table in the game. That was kind of like me going to all the fans and asking them, "Hey, dude, like, what do y'all want in a promotion, and who would you like to see, and do you want more lucha? Do you want death matches?" And they were like, "We want it all." So we're like, "Yeah, we're gonna give them all."
And of course, you're doing it all. You are giving the people exactly what you say, all of it. And like I say, this name Loco is has grown in within the 3 years that you're doing this, or going on three, correct?
Yeah. Oh, the past event that we just had last week, that was our third year anniversary. Because technically, our birthday's in July, but we did it in August, so we've been around for 3 years. Um, We didn't even think we were gonna pass the first one, so it just feels great to be, 3 years old. And dude, you were there, Ray. It was a fucking packed house. Um, it was beautiful, man, and like it's still a dream, man.
I was there when you were at the door and be like, I'm sorry, we can't let no more people in. We are to the max capacity of what this building will hold.
Yeah, man. It was crazy. I had a few fans really upset with me. They're not really upset with me, but they were just a little bit angry that there was just not enough room, and there was people like, my wife was telling me there was people begging to come in, and I was like, dude, we have zero room. You know what I mean? Like we have no more fucking room. We're like maxed out, and I feel bad. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It gets too packed, man. Like it's one of those things where it's like growing pains. Hopefully, on the next big event that we bring a lot of people in there, we have a bigger venue, or I don't know. We'll figure it out, man.
Brother. And every time I feel like I go to a local show, it's not only uh, parents be aware because it's a R-rated show. It's not just an R-rated show because it brings the kids closer to their dads while their dads are cheering and be like, hey, you know what? I can let go. I can be free and not worry about anything that nobody's gonna judge me here because everybody is awesome and willing and excited. So much fire that's going around at the local shows. It's just everybody wants to be a part of it. From I think I saw a 2-year-old kid to a newborn at the show at this past show, and everybody was having a good time. I saw grandparents having a good time at the show.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you a really cool story. There was this little girl, and there's this guy. There's a fan named Juan Guerrero, and he hit me up on Messenger. Oh, I have this little girl. Man, I forgot her. You know what? It's crazy. Is like I forgot her name, but I'm sorry. I'll remember it as I tell the story. But yeah, she came up to me, and she was like, "All I ever want," he goes, "All I wanted for my birthday was to come to this Loco show," and it almost brought me to tears, man, because I honestly I never like pushed Loco to kids because we were like, come on guys, you see the
Parental
little
advisory.
the marijuana
Listen
plan and shit
context.
like that, and I never really catered to kids, but the parents bring their kids, and I love them for that, man, because it's like just taking their kid to a PG-13 movie or rated R movie. But anyways, that little girl said all I wanted for my birthday was to come to this Loco show, and I told her basically like, you know, happy birthday, thank you for coming. Um, look at all of this. Dreams do come true. So, follow your dreams, finish school, and trust me, follow your dreams because this is what living your dream is. And I showed her the packed house. That's what living your dream is. And I was so happy. I almost cried when I was like, I gave her some free merch too, man. Like it was beautiful, man. Like stories like that, and like helps me keep going. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to take a break, but that August show lit up a fire up my ass. I feel like I should do another event. Well, I am September 16th, so.
Hola, yo soy Lady Flammer y estás viendo Let the Mic Drop.
There you go. That's what it's all about. I mean, the you bring the camaraderie. You bring all like I'm pretty sure that everybody that's in the TLC they didn't know a lot of each other, and then they all started coming together little by little by little to create something amazing. You know.
Yeah, because I always this is the one thing that I've always this is the one thing that I've always told me and Pedro always talk about, like, and I know it's probably a little bit off the subject, but um I love the fans, but I know sometimes we lose fans, and as a promoter, as me and Pedro as promoters, um we're not we pride ourselves on making new fans, and that's what a lot of these promoters don't do is make new fans, blow their minds away. There was this John Martin had brung this kid, and And he's like, oh, he came up to me outside. He was like, hey, man, it's my first Loco show. And I told him straight up to his face, we're going to blow your mind away. And sure enough, he came up to me at the end of the night, dude. My mind was blown, and you made a new fan. So I'm like, that's what it's all about for me. It's like making new fans. And that's what we're going to do. Continue to make new fans, continue to spread the Loco gospel, and let everybody know if it ain't Loco, it ain't fire. Um, yeah, man, dude, like, please don't, hey, for the people that are listening to this, guys, don't sleep on us, man. For real, we work really, really hard to bring a different crowd, and I feel like this is. I've said this constantly all the time. Nobody matches our vibe. No one, no one. I've been to everybody's show, and nobody matches our vibe. I'm willing to bet money on that.
Yo, Lunchador here, and you're watching Let the Mic Drop. Order up.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express. And when it comes to wrestling and you need gear and you need your instruments to play your band, listen to me. I only go where the best is. And I go to Laredo to Aces Boots. Check these right here out, man. Good wrestling boots, and they last forever. Don't send your money out of the country to get a pair of boots. Just send it to Laredo. It's Ace Boots Company. Have a good night.
Oh man, like I said, nobody's got that fire lit up in their A double crooked letter like you. And man, an example, Pac Ortega. I've seen him grow into the wrestling business. He's got a pair of Aces boots, so I was watching him as he grew up training in Uvalde, went on to San Antonio, and he was doing the independent scene out in both places, but it was little by little baby steps. And then he gets to local wrestling, and boy, exploded like nothing anybody's ever seen, especially this past week. And I saw people yelling stuff at him, cursing him out left and right. But you know what? He makes you feel like you really were back in the early 80s and where heels were heels and faces were faces. And he's one of those heels that really makes you want to, I don't like this bad guy type of thing.
Yeah, the TDC doesn't like Pac Ortega. The fans of Loco, they don't like him. You know what? The one thing with Pac Ortega is Pac Ortega did a lot of things a lot of wrestlers don't do. Consistently hit me up. Hey, you got a spot, this and that. He worked his ass off to get to that point, man. And I'm super proud of Pac Ortega. And I always say, yeah, he lost a little Poppy, but this ain't the end of like Pac Ortega at Loco. It's just another chapter in his story at Loco. And I'm so proud of Pac Ortega, dude. Like, we were talking backstage, and he was like crying. I gave him a big hug, and I told him straight up that I was proud of him, dude. Like, you did a lot of things that a lot of wrestlers don't do. You fucking hit me up. You're consistently. You're like, man, I want to be on the local shows, man. Put me on and this and that, and always touch base. And that's what a lot of wrestlers don't do. And Pac Ortega worked his ass off to get to that title, and he deserves it. And everything that he gets from this and beyond, because he worked his ass off.
And right now, let me also congratulate Little Poppy. Bro, I've seen this kid also when you all brought him onto the scene. He's one of those workers that strives to do better for himself. I really like him. I like the dance that he does coming into the ring. His hats. I mean, he makes you believe when it's hurting. You're like, damn, poor kid. This guy's really in some pain. When I was videotaping some of their match, I was like, geez, like how much punishment can this kid go through and still keep coming for more? I mean, I saw him go over the top rope and what looked like in my footage hit his face onto the mat. And there was so much energy and drive that he popped right back up and started cheering. Like he wanted more and he wanted to beat Pac Ortega that night.
Yeah, Little Poppy. has been a local fan since the very beginning. He's actually been a big supporter of what me and Pedro have done before local wrestling, dog. Back in like 2015, 2016, he was a fan just sitting in the stands, and now he's like the local wrestling fire daddy champion, and it just shows it that he works hard. He does CrossFit. He's always consistently training, wrestling, lucha, all the styles, and it really shows in it. And I love the one thing that I love about wrestling is growth. And I love growth. And seeing Poppy get his moment last Saturday, man, dude, it put a tear to my eye. You know what I mean? I
I think
love
it
me
did
some
for
little
all of
Poppy.
us. Like we wanted to see him win it at the what was the show before the Wrestle Swap,
The funeral.
the funeral. Yes, of course. I'm sorry, my bad. But yeah, when we saw him, we wanted him to win. We wanted him to go out there and finally like get that opportunity. But this past Saturday, he got the chance and he became the Fire Daddy champion.
Yeah. What was crazy about that is like when this is how passionate little Poppy. I really don't tell this story a lot, and this is how passionate he was when he. I told him, dude, that he wasn't gonna win the Fire Daddy Championship the first time in that ladder match. Man, bro, he basically started crying, bro, and and I told him, hey, bro, trust me, it's gonna. We're telling the story, brother, and and you already know you saw the ending to that story, and it was beautiful, and it's one of those things where it's I love the passion in that they really want it, and little Poppy showed me that he really wanted it, and so shout out to little Poppy, man. Thank you, my Fire Daddy champion, man.
So everybody knows and everybody's good. How did the Fire Daddy Championship come about? I know, but let's tell the whole people out there listening because we got a good reach amount of people. Let them know how this title came about.
The Fire Daddy Championship, actually a fan, dude, I was gonna call it like the Loco Junior title or some shit like that, but a fan named Jason Burke was like, man, just call it the Fire Daddy Championship. And I was like, you know what, that makes sense, dog. Like, because I'm always saying Fire Daddy, and it makes sense. And then my one of the fans got Ryan Shaw to do Day of the Dead, local version of the Smoking Skull. So I
Mhm.
was like, you know what? Let me just use that because our heavyweight or like our world title already has the Smoking Skull. So I was like, dude, let's put that the Day of the Dead or the Sugar Skull, and that's kind of how we did it. And my belt maker put everything together, and that's how we got the belt.
Brother, I must say that is one of the nicest titles I have ever seen in my life. It is so nice. It beats a lot of those main titles on what you see on TV. And again, I want local wrestling to succeed for many years on to come. That's why I take time out of my schedule to make sure that I'm at the local shows because it's an experience like none other. For the fans that haven't been to a local show, what do you want to tell them for the next show coming up?
As far as what the next show is coming up, we have several of them. Alliance Championship Wrestling is presenting Loco. Loco Wrestling presents the Hot Box. And then we're doing the Thomas Lawrence Memorial Show. But as far as what we're gonna like past those two shows, we're gonna do a big super show. I think we're gonna cut it down to like 8 matches instead of the 10 or 11 that we do.
We go out
But
for a
yeah,
while,
man,
right?
yeah, we were there for a little bit. We were there late, but I want to cut it down because I even Pedro figured that out, man. It's just like it's too much sometimes. We give them so much. I feel, you know what I mean. We give them all the stars they want. Like pretty much, I feel like whenever we do local super shows, any of those matches could be main events anywhere in Texas.
Of course.
Anyone.
Stop yelling, Ray! Fuck you!
Not only only that, Jaime, you bring wrestlers that nobody has ever seen in Texas. That, like I'm telling you, Game Changer Wrestling, you brought a bunch of those guys that had never even been brought into the independent scene. It's because of you that all this movement is starting to grow from Houston down to San Antonio, little by little, starting to take over the game that is professional wrestling down in Texas. Because I think I've been to a lot of independent wrestling shows. I've been to almost every major city in Texas at their events, and I've seen that local wrestling is something special, something that not everybody gets to witness, but you have to go experience local wrestling. It's not just an experience with the fans, it's not an experience with the promoter, because the promoter, which is you, is running around in the building and the outside around the fans and making sure everybody's doing something cool, something fun, everybody's having fun. And in the locker room, everybody has a certain camaraderie, um, except for one guy, Smooth Criminal. That one guy, he
Oh my
pissed me
god.
off when he came out.
Yeah, the smooth criminal is. I'm gonna blame Pedro for that. Pedro brung him in. I don't know why he brung him in. He came out with. He usually comes out. He's the manager of El Símbolo, and dude, like I don't know. That's a Pedro thing, and he kept on harassing me, and I was like, bro, I'm tired of hearing your fucking shit, and I took the mic and smooth criminal dog, like he hit me right in my nuts, and he choked me out pretty much. That was pretty fucked up, man. I was a little already drunk already. I was having fun with the fans, and man, he caught me off guard, man. So this is one of those things. I hate you, Pedro, for bringing him to Loco. Surreal.
What are
I
we
blame
gonna
you,
do
Pedro.
to Smooth Criminal? Because I know this isn't the end of the story. Bro, he had a bottle of water. When he came out, he threw it right at me, and I was standing right in front of him, and I was like, "Brother, my camera is literally pointed at you, and you just flung a whole bottle of water at me, and I gotta continue this show, and I don't know if my camera equipment is gonna keep working after this."
Oh my god, dude! Like honestly, I don't know what was going on with me smooth criminal, but sometimes me smooth criminal is sometimes he just doesn't give a fuck. I know he doesn't. He should. Um, but man, dude, local wrestling's really chaotic, man. Like I don't know, man, dude. It's just a lot of things that go on at loco that oh my god, like I get a headache. I get tons of headaches of all the little stuff. I hear stories after the show ends. I hear little stories and all the aftermath. So I don't know, man. Fuck you, smooth criminal.
Hi, man. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope we can do this more often. But with this being one of many times that we're going to interview here on Let the Mic Drop, let's go out with a bang. Tell the people what they can expect, the Thomas Lawrence show, and let me hear that catchphrase one more time.
Guys, we're Loco Wrestling. We're based out of Houston, Texas. Our next show is September the 16th, followed by September 29th, the Thomas Lawrence Memorial Show. I fucking love you, Thomas. He was one of the number one local fans. I will never forget you. You make me be proud to be a promoter. I fucking miss you so much. But yeah, man, those are the next upcoming shows. Follow us on Facebook, on Loco Wrestling, on everything, and if it ain't loco, it ain't fire, daddy. I appreciate you. Thank you. And you already know I'm always down to let the mic drop, daddy.
That's right. Thank you all very much for joining us right here on Let the Mic Drop. Jaime, it was always a pleasure talking to you. It's a great time when I see you. I love you, my brother, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Martinez, and you're watching Let the Mic Drop. Daddy.